everyone, my name is Amanda.
My name is Emily, and welcome to our channel, Gale Force Twins.
Today in this video, we are going to talk about how to get
your captain's license! Yay! We get a lot of messages of people asking us how'd you get into the industry, how did you get your sea time, and we decided to dedicate an entire video to you guys for how to get this beautiful red
license
booklet. There's a few things you're going to need. First, we'll just kind of explain it to you in bulletproof form.
Bullet points.
Bullet points. My bad. Sorry, that was odd thing to say. Anyways, bullet form. We'll just kind of go through it all. If you want to write it all down, we'll probably also put it in the description box below for you to kind of look at, just an overview. Before we talk about this was how we had to get our captain's licenses. I know that they change the rules every few years. Right when we got ours, they made a little switch about how old you had to be to get your sea time. So this is a generalized way to do this. Do not take this to heart. Do not assume we are 100% right. Do your own research.
Yes. Yeah. Alright, we'll just first start talking about there's your 6-pack captain's license and there's your master's captain's license. The 6-pack captain's license is when you think your typical charter boat captain when you're going to book a private charter for you and your friends of up to 6 people. That captain, in order to have your 6-pack license, you need 365 days of sea time and allows you to run fishing charters. It allows you to take up to 6 people on the boat.
Correct. Then there's your master's license. Your master's license is by tonnage. The smallest is 25 ton, then there's 50 ton, and it goes all the way up to 300 to unlimited ton license. And that means that, let's say for example, I had my 100 ton, which I actually had my 50 ton. But let's say I had my 100 ton, and I'm running a 100 ton boat, okay? And that 100 ton boat can take up to 50 people. That means that license allows me to take
all 50 of those
50 people. Correct.
So the master's license, I like to think, is good for more than 6 people if you wanted to run a head boat or a drift fishing boat that fished 20 people at one time, or it's good if you want to be a yacht captain.
Right, or you want to get into commercial and you want to do tugboat captain.
Right, we have one of our best friends, her brother is actually a tugboat captain, and I'm pretty sure he tows around oil barges.
Yeah.
Out off the coast of New York.
Yeah, it's
something like that.
Pretty
but
cool.
He has his unlimited ton, I believe, so you could do commercial, you could do yachting, you could do fishing, you could do private, you can do sandbar tours.
Exactly.
Whatever you
the
want.
The sky is the limit.
The sky. Is that the right expression?
The water is
the water
limit.
Depth is the limit. Those are really the two bread and butter captain's licenses. And you don't have to pick one or the other, you add.
Yes.
So we both have our 50 ton
So first
masters.
you have to get your 6-pack.
Yes.
And then you can apply for your masters. And when you apply for your masters, they determine what tonnage you get based on the amount of time you've had and the amount of time you've had on a certain size boat. So the more time you have on larger boats, the bigger your tonnage is. And there is very specific days you need on certain size boats. If you are super dedicated and you know you want a certain tonnage, you guys can go look into that.
Now that you understand the different captain's licenses or the different levels of a captain's license, let's start with where you start. Getting your sea time. You're going to need 365 days minimum to get your captain's license and 720 days for your master's. Where do you start getting this sea time?
Alright. Currently, I believe, you can start counting your sea time at the age of 16. You can't apply for a license until, I believe, you have to be 18. But you can start counting your days. Your sea time, you can get it working on a boat that sits at a dock. You can get it working on a head boat. You can get it working
on a yacht.
Right.
So people always ask us, we'll specifically talk about the fishing industry because that's where most of our experience is, but we do have friends that work on yachts, so we can touch on that a little bit. But if you're specifically wanting to get your sea time in the fishing industry, I always like to say the best place to start is a head boat. And a head boat or is a drift boat was one of those big fishing boats. It's normally like $30 to $50 a person to go out fishing, and there'll be 20 people fishing at one time. The best thing to do If you know someone that can give you a connection, that's probably the best thing to do. If you don't, you have to walk the dock. Yes, I know that sounds scary.
But we rode along and we observed everything, and we were like sponges absorbing everything that we could. And then once the captain or whoever is above you sees that you're good or that they can trust you, then they'll start to give you jobs here and there. And they might say, hey, look, go down there, help the mate. Go down there, help the deckhand. Hey, drive straight for this period of time. Whatever the situation, there is no cookie cutter way of doing this.
I wish I could say, oh, this is how you get your sea time, XYZ, you're done, but that's really not the case. You really need to try to get your foot in the door, offer to do a ride along for a day, then ask what you need to know to start getting paid to do this.
Right, and eventually what happens is maybe one mate can't make it, and then you're the person they call. They say, hey, I need a mate today, you've been around, you've been showing you're trying, you're the person I'm going to call.
Exactly, and that's probably really a lot how it happens in the fishing industry. And let's say you're just really wanting to like do the yachting side of things. That's kind of a whole nother story. You're going to need to get some certifications like your STCW to work on a yacht, but same thing, you need to dock walk, you need to talk to people, you need to ask people, and you really just got to put yourself out there.
Now that you've accumulated your sea time, you are going to need to get your TWIC card, and your TWIC card is kind of like a license.
It's a transportation card.
Yeah.
I'll grab mine. Your TWIC card is basically a mugshot. And just so you know, when you when you go get your TWIC card picture taken, that is the picture they are going to use on your captain's license. You can't smile in it.
You can't smile.
So this is my TWIC
there.
card. That's my TWIC card. That's my mugshot. So your TWIC card is basically, I believe it's just it's a transportation worker identification credential. And I'm pretty sure it's basically a background check as well.
Yeah.
So you get your TWIC card, you basically get approved to, that's one of the steps to getting your captain's license.
After you get your TWIC card, and this does not have to be in order.
Yeah, once you have the sea time, these next certifications don't have to be in order.
You have to get CPR certified.
CPR certified, that is another credential you need to get your license. It's this little tiny piece of paper that basically says you're CPR certified, you've learned how to save someone's life if you need to, because you have to think about it when you're on a boat. If you're the captain, and let's say you're the captain, you have a mate, and you have 4 people out fishing, something goes wrong, you're it.
Yeah, you're the person.
You're the medical
when you're
the
on
first
the water,
responder.
You are a firefighter, you are a doctor, you are
an engineer,
you are
a mechanic,
the
you are
lawyer,
a chef, you are it all.
Yeah.
Especially if you're way offshore and something goes wrong. So that's why it's really important to be CPR certified. And I would honestly even encourage you to take some additional classes to help yourself learn, which is something we did.
We took extra classes. We even took a fire safety course, and we learned how to put out fires. It was a lot of fun.
So much
fun.
It was
a
a
lot of
fun.
fun.
We also did a course through D-Day, which is a company that does tailored courses to your situation, and they taught us bleeding control, like how to tie a tourniquet. They taught us emergency responses, how to administer medicine, we were practicing like a dummy, a really lifelike dummy.
Yeah.
And that was actually a really cool experience too. D-Day is an awesome company. They do really cool courses, so if you're ever interested, look it up.
Definitely.
Also, in order to get your captain's license, you are going to need to pass a drug test. That is very important, and not just pass a drug test, but when we did it, we had to join a consortium, which puts you in a system to randomly get drug tested.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another big step. They want to make sure that you are a clean person and you are
responsible enough to have other people's lives
in your hands. Exactly. Aside from all the, I want to say credentials, the TWIC card, the CPR certified, the drug test, all of that, you have the sea time, you have to pass the course.
Yes, the written course.
The written course.
So you get your sea time with someone overseeing you and watching you. And then you have to go and take a written exam. And then after you take the written exam, you get your little red booklet, and that's your ticket.
Well, after you take the written exam, you send in a bunch of paperwork to the government. You
Right.
wait a long time.
And then you get your little red booklet, and that's your way of being free. To take the exam,
We did our exam through Captain Flynn Smith
out of
out of
Cudjoe Key.
Cudjoe Key. His was thebestofkeywest.com. I loved his exam style.
It was great.
It was, you went in, he gave you all the books you needed. You have to learn charting and plotting. Like, pretend you don't have a GPS and you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and all you have is a chart. That's like what he teaches you.
The material, I feel like a lot of people get overwhelmed. It's a lot of material, but at the end of the day, it's good information for you to have and try and make it fun to learn.
Well,
about.
and I'm pretty sure you only need a 70% to pass.
Except for rules of the road.
Except for rules of the road. The rules of the road section, you're going to need a 90%. So I'm pretty sure when you take that section, you can only miss one. Captain Flynn Smith's school, his thing is entirely online, which is really cool.
We really liked that because we felt like we could go through the material at our own pace and learn it in our whatever way we felt was best and then prepare for the exam that way. Now, we've also taken courses at Maritime School in Fort Lauderdale called MPT, Maritime Professional Training. And
that school has
that's an in-person course.
That's Monday through Friday, like
it's 9 to 5 or 8 to 5.
In person, if you like in-person schooling and if that's what you need to really.
There are other options for you. That pretty much summarizes everything up for you guys. That's all the special credentials that you need.
I would recommend doing things in is first get your seat time, make sure you're logging it and keeping track.
Right, logging it is really important.
Really important.
And it's good for yourself too.
It's good. I still log my seat time to this day for my renewals.
Right, so you have to renew your license every 5 years.
The next thing I would do would be to take your course. Because by taking your course, they're going to help you get set up and figure out what else you need.
Yeah.
After you take your course, you're going to need your TWIC card, you're going to need your CPR certification, and your drug test. That's probably the order I would do it in. It's the easiest order, but definitely seat time first, take your course, and from taking your course, they should help you figure out the next several steps. I am going to add one thing about getting the fishing license to your captain's license. So once you have your captain's license, this is specific for FWC if you're in the state of Florida. Check with your state's regulations before you look anywhere else. So if you want to run a fishing charter, you can't just have your captain's license. You have to have your fishing license. The fishing license is a really important part of running fishing charters. You can't forget that.
Yeah.
That's really important. This is through FWC, and it includes charter captain, state Gulf Reef charter, charter captain lobster, so if I want to run a lobster trip, charter captain snook, and then I also have my Gulf Reef fish angler on here. You can get your fishing charter captain's license at your local tax office, at least in the state of Florida. I can't exactly say how it works in other states when it comes to fishing, but that is how we did ours. You're not going to be able to get your charter fishing captain's license until you have your actual captain's license.
Correct.
So you're going to have to walk into your local tax office, show them your captain's license, and say you need your charter fishing captain's license. In order to run charters on somebody else's boat, you're going to need this. You're going to need this. This covers you. It's really good to have because it covers you to be a captain for hire, really anywhere, a fishing captain for hire. And then obviously if you want to have your own charter boat,
that's a whole nother set of
paperwork and questions. Maybe we can touch on that one later.
Yes.
That one is separate. These were the first steps we took to get fishing jobs on other charter boats.
I believe that summarizes everything for you guys to know about getting your captain's license. We'll put some of this extra information in the description box for you to look at. And I really hope that this was helpful. I mean, it was kind of an overall explanation for anyone that's been curious, but all this information can be found once you start taking your course. You can talk to your course instructor, or if you go to a maritime school,
yeah,
they
you
will
can look
help
up
you.
maritime schools in your area. There's maritime schools all over, so don't be discouraged. Also, I think that once you get your foot in the door to get that job on the water, it's all, I want to say downhill from there, like, you know.
Like easy rolling.
Easy rolling.
Yeah, the hardest part is just getting your seat time. And once you get that, the rest of it
will
typical.
come naturally. You'll have a community of people around you that have already done it. They can tell you how to do it, who to do it with, what to do, all the next steps.